The Oakland Athletics' past several seasons have been turbulent, marked by disappointing trades, relocation drama, and postseason misses. But now, named simply the Athletics with no city name attached, the Green and Gold are looking to make a statement in West Sacramento. The A's are coming off an interesting 2024 campaign. Playing in front of small crowds at the Oakland Coliseum for one final year, the Athletics didn't win as many games as they would have wanted, but this shouldn't come as a surprise for a $63 million roster. Oakland finished 4th in the American League West with the 3rd worst record and 3rd worst run differential in the AL, telling of their struggles. However, A's fans have seen shades of the team's endless cycle before: make the postseason and fall early, tear it down for a few years, and become competitive again with exciting young players under team control. Based on some of 2024's bright spots, it's starting to feel like the team is trending in a competitive direction after finishing below the playoff line for 4 straight years. And with ownership demonstrating interest in signing higher-end free agents to avoid missing out on revenue sharing, the A's aren't in an awful position. Let's take a look at some of those standout positives from 2024.
The Series W, which means it is Miller time.
Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss.
The first and arguably the most obvious is their closer, Mason Miller. Miller was the team's lone all-star and the owner of a 2.49 ERA with 28 saves, remarkable for a 26-year-old finally getting a full taste of the big leagues. Miller also possessed the highest average 4-seam fastball and splitter velocities, with his other pitches clocking in toward the top of the leaderboard as well. The Athletics often faltered on the starting pitching side. Oakland's rotation had the 5th worst team ERA, the 2nd lowest strikeout per 9 innings ratio, and a lack of true velocity across the board. But amid the obstacles, a few guys stood out as silver linings. JP Sears quietly had his best season in green and gold, with over 180 innings pitched and 11 wins. He sort of steered the pitching ship after veteran Paul Blackburn was traded, and at 28 years old now, he'll want to fully break out in 2025. Joey Estes was another bright spot. For a rookie, he slotted well into the rotation, with his main highlight being a complete game shutout against the Angels. Osvaldo Bido should be mentioned too. He made rounds out of the bullpen and started in games, notably holding hitters to a low .265 weighted on base average and pitching to a 1.55 ERA in August across 29 innings. The A's were most exciting on the hitting side. Astonishingly, with a bottom payroll, the Athletics hit the 8th most home runs in Major League Baseball with 196, ahead of notable contenders like the Padres and Guardians. But ironically, Oakland struggled to drive runs in, finishing 28th with only 619 RBIs, struggling on the batting average side as well. On the bright side, the A's were the 4th most disciplined team in the bigs, only striking out 24.9% of the time. Additionally, the team had a top-weighted on-base average. The lineup proved to have some real studs. Whereas the A's had a historically bad offense in 2023 and often appeared to be a free feast for opposing starting pitchers, this wasn't the case in 2024. An opposing right-hander would have to face the likes of Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, JJ Bleday, and Shea Langoliers in the top 4, all players who each launched at least 20 home runs. And really, besides Rooker, the other 3 had breakout campaigns, becoming surefire corner pieces of Mark Kotze's progressing team. Rooker, while already a star, is not only looking like one of the most underrated, but one of the most efficient and talented hitters in all of baseball. He hit over 30 home runs for the 2nd straight year with one of the top OPS marks in the league. And for now, the A's have adamantly made it clear that they don't want to move their 30-year-old slugger. Butler, especially, took the baseball world by storm in the second half, posting an 155 WRC+ after adjusting his swing mechanics in AAA and truly adjusting to big league pitching speeds. He notably changed his footwork in the box and worked hard on timing his hacks by limiting barrel drag and pushing his weight back to approach fastballs more effectively. Butler really wowed baseball connoisseurs when he tallied 2 3-homer performances in the same season, exhibiting his true potential. Bleday and Langoliers took their needed leaps in 2024, and all but locked down everyday roles in 2025 as younger catalysts finally panning out on a team navigating a lengthy rebuild. For Bleday, his 20 homers were more than he'd hit in the prior 2 seasons combined, and for Langoliers, he continued to destroy baseballs, registering a 3-homer game of his own and carrying the load behind the dish. Don't forget about Jacob Wilson too, the team's top prospect, who unfortunately missed time with a nagging injury immediately after recording his first major league hit. Like Wilson, other youngsters, such as Zach Geloff, will hope for more success next season. Geloff didn't have the season he would have wanted in 2024, but will be due for a bounce back in 2025. And he definitely showed flashes in a true big league setting. And a Nick Kurtz call-up could certainly be possible. The A's have plenty to play with one of the best farm systems in baseball, along with a cast of already talented youngsters. Now let's take a look at the additions for this upcoming season. Playing in a minor league ballpark in Sacramento, the Athletics didn't hesitate to make a splash during the offseason, signing former Mets pitcher Luis Severino to the largest contract in A's history, a 3-year, $67 million deal. The A's only continued to bolster their starting rotation by adding Rays southpaw Jeffrey Springs, who missed the bulk of 2024 after undergoing Tommy John surgery, but is still a high-ceiling hurler when healthy. The A's also filled the third base void by signing Gio Urshela on a sort of low-risk, high-reward 1-year deal for lineup depth. The signings aren't monumental per se, but are big for a team that tends to do a lot with only a little. Severino will have the chance to become an ace after floating around the middle of the rotation for his entire career, but if we're being honest, he's kind of sort of just filling in former ace Paul Blackburn's shoes. The A's weren't a successful team even with Blackburn dealing and healthy, so while adding Severino is a step in the right direction, it's not the ultimate fix. The A's will also have to rely on Severino and Springs remaining healthy, something they both struggled to do in recent years. So, with these additions in mind, can the A's contend in 2025? Undeniably, the AL West is not what it once was. The Astros are bound to be a lock for the division crown yet again, but will look different without Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman in the lineup. Not to mention questions surrounding the team's outfield outlook, and a reminder that injuries plagued their starting rotation in 2024 and will also look different this upcoming season. Houston went 8-5 against the A's in 2024, and despite looking more like David than their usual Goliath form nowadays, they're always a threat. Simply put, while not impossible, it will be difficult for the Athletics to contend with a team like the Astros. The Mariners will inevitably be a playoff threat because of their rotation, easily one of the best in the league, if not the best. Power issues plagued them in 2024, but Seattle was still able to best the A's 9 times and compete very closely for a wildcard spot. They will want vengeance after back-to-back disappointing seasons. The Rangers had an intense World Series hangover in 2024, but I'm expecting them to bounce back given their elite talent pool, and youngsters like Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, and Josh Jung will have more chances to adjust. Given their drop-off from 2023 to 2024, the Rangers will be a bit of a mystery, given their main stars aging rapidly. But 2023 proved that you can't count this team out, so we'll just have to wait and see. The Angels would have to try hard to be worse than their 99-loss showing last season, but I anticipate them being at the bottom of the West again. They have no shortage of talent, and they were super busy during the offseason, but I have a hard time believing they'll be exciting in 2025. So, the AL West remains a mysterious division for 2025. No surefire playoff contender, but a few teams that could poke out of the woods and take the crown. But can the A's seriously contend for the division title? I say likely not this year, but they'll probably trend well in the right direction toward another wave of contending years. Their success will come down to these main factors: resurfacing vintage play from Luis Severino, continued mashing at the top of the lineup, well-rounded depth, and elevated production from multiple players, including JP Sears, Tyler Soderstrom, and Zach Geloff. This is kind of a lot to ask, but we've seen the A's pull this off before in the past. My main strife with the A's, like any cheap team, is that they're going to bank on a lot of things clicking and going well instantly in order to contend. Roster luck is a big part of baseball, but it can't necessarily be gambled on. Thinking about where the A's were in 2022 compared to now, they've made steady and considerable progress. A history of cheap antics and eyebrow-raising trades suggests that a year like this will be pivotal in taking this team to the next level. And the offseason isn't over either. They could make some more moves. Playing at Sutter Health Park will also be a wonky feature of the 2025 season. It's known to be a pitcher's park in the Pacific Coast League, but at the major league level, it could very well be the opposite. A 75-win season, in my eyes, would do wonders for the A's in showing the progress they've made. This number of wins, in fact, was the total amount they reached in 2017, the year before they'd go on to qualify for 3 straight postseasons. So you get my point. Let me know what you're expecting from the team playing in California's capital and now their 4th city as a franchise. Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm Casey Kasliner, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one.